Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Switchcraft episode. My name is Jana, and I'm sitting here with someone who did the intro for this podcast. Yeah, I'm sitting here with Ben.
Hi, everyone.
As I mentioned in the last episode, from now on it's mostly going to be me doing the interviews. So let's jump straight in. So I assume most people listening to this know who you are. I think so, because you were described to me, or I think you described yourself that way as the Canadian Mike Schneider. And I think it's an apt comparison because you're pretty much, I think you even were the first one I saw on YouTube fingerboarding when I came back, because I think I just typed in fingerboarding and you were either one of the first results or definitely the first channel I subscribed to when I came back to fingerboarding.
Yeah, but Canadian Mike Schneider, I think it's pretty accurate because Mike is definitely inspiration for us all. But to me, like, personally, I remember when I was a kid, like back in late 2007, 2008, I would literally come home from school and binge watch Mike Schneider videos, even though I would have watched the video 40 times already. And I would, oh, sorry, I had a little battery issue. It's supposed to be plugged. Okay, it's all good. Sorry.
Okay.
So yeah, as I was saying, basically, Mike is a pure inspiration to me. And what I did liked about him was how frequently he was actually posting. And I think that one of the main thing that is driving me is the fact that when I was a kid, I only had Mike Schneider that was posting constantly. But my favorite fingerboarders were like Ethan Ebling, Chris Daniels, Gary Chin. Gary Chin was also pretty frequent, but Alex Macmillan, like those are some of the first fingerboarders I was following. And the thing that was making me sad is the fact that they weren't uploading frequently. So I think I kind of that feeling stayed with me, and today I try to like post frequently because I think about the kid that just wants to see content, let's say from me or some other fingerboarders, but they're not posting frequently. So yeah, I guess I try to fulfill that need if it's a need.
Yeah. I mean, you're doing quite a good job on that. How often do you upload during a week?
I want to upload a week.
I thought it must have been more. I see your videos pop up in my field all the time.
Well, in 2016, when I started doing videos, I was really getting into how to do fingerboard videos. And I guess I wanted to discover it by myself. It's the way I learned guitar. It's just like playing around and not really taking courses or classes or stuff like that. I was just discovering by myself. So I guess that's why I uploaded so many times in 2016. It's because, yeah, I was learning how to do videos, basically.
So that answers, I think, a few of the basic ones, but let's get them out of the way anyway. So how long have you been fingerboarding? When did you start? When was your first time picking up a pro setup?
A pro setup. Okay. It would have been late 2007. I remember working during the summer. Like I was 12, I think, at that time. So I would do like yards work and mow my neighbor's lawn. And I remember gathering enough money. It costed me around 55 55 Canadian to get my first close up complete. And to me it was night and day. Like finally I received my close up, and I remember I saw that review from Mike Schneider again. You're gonna hear his name a lot in this interview. But yeah, his close-up review. I remember looking at the grip tape and being like, "That grip tape looks so much better than the tape." And I would focus on such dumb details that would make no difference when I think about today. And And yeah, it was a close-up G2 with a five borough graphic. I remember.
Yeah, I'm not too well versed in my close-up history, so don't know that graphic from the top of my head.
Mhm. Yeah, but yeah, it was a close-up complete with
Yeah.
the famous urethane wheels that, yeah, I remember flat spotting, and I would basically end up with like 3 close-up wheels and 1 tech wheels at some point. So,
Nice. Do you remember how you discovered that there actually are tricks in fingerboarding? Like, when was the point you went from playing with a tech deck to discovering the whole world of fingerboarding?
actually, that's a pretty good story. To give a premise, the first time I came in contact with tech decks was basically one day. I was at the local Walmart with my friend and my mom, and I was basically in the toy alley. And if you guys remember how the Walmart toy alley is made, you have like all the Hot Wheels, and right next to it, normally you have tech decks. And back then, I remember, I always was a big video game fan, and one of my favorite video game of all time is Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Same
Um,
here.
Especially Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4. And I remember back then, I think it was 2005, 2006, around those times. I remember seeing like the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4 edition of Tech Decks. So you had the big Tony Hawk Pro Skater logo on it.
Hmm.
So my brain made the connection of like, oh, this is from the video game I like so much. I'm gonna buy this instead of Hot Wheels because I was into Hot Wheels when I was eight years old. So I basically got a tech deck back then, and I remember not too long after I got a park, and on the park there was an URL, and this in 2005, like you might not know, but for the people listening, but internet wasn't really big everywhere. It wasn't as easy access as today. It was getting better. But yeah, in 2005, I just had my own computer and I had internet on it, so I could basically research whatever I want. And one of the things I really liked was like checking a packaging and wanting to find a URL on it, and I would check the site. And that's basically what I did with my tech deck park. Is I just wrote down techdeck.com, saw the video section, watched Michael King Scott, if some people remember that name. And I remember seeing another video of someone riding a dollhouse and like doing tricks kicker from the rooftop to another kicker. I don't remember the name of that video, but I'm sure people from that era know what I'm talking about. And yeah, I basically that's where I started like trying to do tricks with the 3 fingers, punch the fingerboard out, it flips.
Yeah. For some reason, I didn't remember when I made that jump from tech deck, from fumbling around to actually trying to do tricks. But I know that I wrote tech decks for quite a while before I got my first Berlinwood, because was quite new back there back then.
Yeah.
Berlinwoods didn't exist for that long.
But
Yeah.
something that is funny that people need to know is how bad tech decks were at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like they were 26 millimeters. They had no shape at all.
Yeah, and the nuts from the wheels would fall off like constantly, like you would need to glue them in place. Also, the nut from the hanger, you also needed to glue that one. You could use a lighter to adjust the shape of the tech
And
deck.
the kids, yeah, we all did
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I always use skateboard grip to pimp the grip.
I would go even further, and I would use ADP sandpaper and glue it with Elmer's glue.
I think I did that once, and like the next time I regripped my skateboard, I just put a piece aside and yeah. But yeah, those were the days. And then I got my first Berlin wood in like 2001, 2, something like that.
Wow.
Do you remember your first event, or what was your next step after getting your close up,
Oh, the next step was like
learning everything?
yeah, like 5 years of no activity almost. Like I really got into it like until 2009, 2010, I would say. And then I started hitting puberty and being into losing my virginity. So that for me, when you're a kid, it rhymes with not fingerboarding, but it's completely ridiculous. If you just be yourself, you're the most authentic as possible. It's just gonna happen like that.
I actually quit fingerboarding for also quite stupid reasons, and at some point I realized I just love it and started
Yeah,
doing it again.
it's part of you. Your hobby is
Yeah.
part of you, and if you cannot accept it, like I don't know, it's just sad for everyone because you're
Yeah.
lying yourself. You're lying to yourself, and you're kind of lying to the people you're trying
And
to.
also, like, do what makes you happy. And if fingerboarding makes you happy, like, why the fuck not?
Yeah.
There were things to do in life.
But yeah, I got back into it after when I realized all this.
Mm.
And yeah, like since I'm maybe 15, yeah, at 15 I joined a Facebook group called Fingerskate Quebec. We were around 60 or 70 people. And to people listening, Quebec is actually a province of Canada. Yeah, because we don't have state, we got 10 provinces, and Quebec is like the French speaking province. Like some people are bilingual all over Canada, but like it's mainly in Quebec, there's a lot of French exclusive thing. But yeah, just small lesson. So what that meant is that it's easier to communicate with other French speakers, especially about the thing and your hobby. It's more fun. So it was a way for me to really understand what a scene is and like the social outlet of it, like sharing stuff and developing some affinities with people. And in the end, yeah, like 2 years after, in 2013, there was an event organized by Labis from Labis Boards. And basically, Labis, he held an event at Boutique du Skate, which is a skate shop. And yeah, that's basically where I met up with Justin that you see in my videos today. Vincent Flo that was more in my 2016, 2017, but you saw him in Tournament 9 or at my birthday at Zit. And you have Dom Derry that I've met there, and Frédéric Bordelot, which is the 540p on Instagram. That's where I've met, I think I've met Camille there. Anyway, all those people that you see in my videos became best friends of mine.
When was that? Like how many years ago, roughly?
About 7 years.
Cool. So you had quite an active scene around you with people fingerboarding.
Yeah, Labis have been keeping the scene alive, and he's also the one who created the Facebook group. So like we owe everything in our community to Labis, basically. Like he just helped so much, like, and he was the one who started doing a lot of ramps. So whenever we went to events, we had original and unique obstacle to ride. So just that was like a motivation by itself to make the move and go to the event. So yeah, like Levis is pretty much the one who got into it, and then that's what inspired me to start organizing my own event with the Finger Sesh. And now,
how long have you been doing that for?
This year it would have been the 5th one, but unfortunately with everything that's been going on, yeah, I've organized 4 already. That's pretty much it. I also helped organize the camel tour.
Yeah, I remember the video.
I love that video.
So yeah, let's jump to the video. So when did you start your YouTube channel, and what brought you to creating a YouTube channel?
I would say that's a good question. My channel used to be for my music. Like I would dabble into music in my teens and record some stuff. Then one day I just like felt I'm having flashback. I used to do videos on my webcam on the Facebook group, and they were like unboxing and mainly comedy videos and like making a fool of myself. Like I was always into like making people cringe or shocked. and like just making people react, you know, for the sake of entertainment. So that's where I started like really wanting to be funny in my videos, I would say. I just wanted a place to put the video on that I put it on the Facebook group so people could watch them again. And then I just started basically gathering attention from local people who had companies, and someday someone offered me to sponsor me, even though I never had a part or anything. I just was a funny guy on Facebook. And also I was really active in the community, and yeah, I was somewhat bringing people together, let's say, and that's what got me my first sponsorship. So the reason I'm saying that is that just a in parentheses is that people keep asking how to get sponsored. Like, oh, I see some people online that are less skilled than me. I feel like I'm better, but I'm not getting sponsored. That's not a valid argument. You have to be a positive attitude, and you gotta have like some kind of something that brings people together. Either it's by your clips, or either it's by the way you shot your unboxing or stuff like that. But yeah, to go back, end of the parentheses. Basically, I got sponsored, and that's what got me into filming stuff. And yeah, basically, not too long after my mom passed, so I had some heritage money, so I decided to buy a camera, and the rest of it is a story. That's how I started doing videos, basically.
So you turned a negative into something positive.
It's like the most positive thing in my life, almost. Like it got me. I was really depressed in those years. To get this was a way for me to escape, like the darkness. Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to a friend a couple of years ago. We were both dealing with issues when we were fingerboarding together back then, and we dealt with it completely different. Like he delved into fingerboarding and didn't do anything except for fingerboarding because he was like just trying to get my mind off things, and I was like, I can't concentrate on fingerboarding right now. I need to stop that. And so we went like to completely extremes. But I really like that, something that you can just devote yourself to and try to, at least for the time you're doing it, escape from whatever is going on.
And today it's still my escaping. Like it's. And not only that, it's something that helps me connect with people, basically.
Yeah, that's something I think that is very important. I talked about that in the last episode with Evan from Aus. He basically said the same thing, that it's quite fascinating that we as fingerboarders are friends with people from all over the world, meet people at events for the first time that we've known online for a couple of years or that we've known of.
Yeah, the way I see it is like every fingerboarder to me is like a friend crush, you know? Yeah. Like it's just like, oh yeah, finally someone that I can speak about my favorite stuff in life, you know?
Yeah.
It's like it's just an automatic bond with people.
A lot of times when I'm at the other Berlin shop, maybe we fingerboard like a third of the time that we're there. The rest we just sit in front of the shop, talk.
It's a bar at this point.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a bar where when you don't have anything to do, you just play a game of skate while drinking your beer.
Yeah.
Like
it's our of the pool table.
Exactly. That's why I enjoy it most. Like that's part of the reason why I play so many games of skate. It's not about winning the game of skate. It's about standing around on a table, drinking beer and having fun. And the pool table argument is quite fitting, I think.
Yeah, it's also a great way to get free drinks.
Yeah, I did play game of skates for money, but I haven't for beer.
Yeah, you need to.
And usually the money game of skates, I'm avoiding most of those.
Yeah, because imagine developing some kind of gambling addiction from it.
I mean, it's mostly like game of skate for Euro, and I don't think I've lost more than €5 doing that or anything like that. But when you see people like Julian Bono at big events doing that, I'm like, I'm staying out of this because he probably didn't have any money in his pocket, so he's going to win no matter what, and he's going to kill you.
That's funny.
Like when the money gets out in a game of skate, all rules about being nice and just having fun go out the window.
It's all about winning.
Yeah. Don't mean it in a bad way.
Capitalism is everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, fingerboarding drunk is like an experience on its own.
Yeah, it's the worst for me.
I like it. Like having a small buzz going is a perfect feeling for fingerboarding.
Like I guess when you're skateboarding, it's kind of fun because if you fall down, you're kind of like limp, so it hurts less. But in fingerboarding, like nah.
I never skateboarded drunk, but I would imagine I just wouldn't do it because I would be too scared to actually hurt myself.
Yeah,
which is why I stopped skateboarding in the first place, because I hurt myself quite bad with this fucking shit. Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, it's still not healed. Yeah. Did you know how to edit or how to film before? Like, did you learn it somewhere, or was it just trial and error?
Trial and error mainly. That's why today my editing is still pretty basic.
Yeah, same for me.
I like it that way at the same time because it's all about the fingerboarding that way. Or that's my excuse at least. But but yeah, I just do simple stuff, and the thing I think I got good is since I'm good with music and rhythms and stuff, I'm really good at placing clips over music and making not only the tricks pop. Sometimes I not only focus on the pop that fits the beat, but I focus on the way the slow-mo is, so it fits the way a certain note sounds or stuff. Because I like to really get in when I listen to my own videos or videos in general. I like to really get into the song, start pumping. The thing I like about my videos is when you shake your head, the moves and stuff fits like with the rhythms and stuff. So it never feels offbeat. Like I think that's what makes my fingerboard videos that entertaining and go by really fast. That's what I've been saying. But yeah,
I think the editing is trying to match the feel of the clip is still something I struggle with in edits. It's tough to nail down on edits.
Yeah, and developing your own style of editing is also like it's super easy to copy people. And yeah.
And how do you find your music for your edit? Is it all like open source library or?
I used to write my own music. Like I think I did that until 2018 and even 2019. I did some original songs. But the reality is that I'm like my music is pretty amateur still. Like it's mainly the use of samples and like there's very few mastering and like very few effects, but not a lot of. It's pretty basic music. So I think like using better music from better musician really adds another dimension to the quality of the video. So that's why I stopped using it. And to answer your question about where I find my music, well, like I said in the beginning, I'm a gamer at heart before being a fingerboarder. So I take most of my music from old soundtrack of video games because my channel is monetized. I cannot really use copyrighted music. I need to give the rights to and like gives the money from my AdSense, and by money we're talking about cents here.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's for the whole video, right? If someone claims a copyright in your video, it's like doesn't matter if it's like 5 seconds or 10 minutes.
It depends. Like sometimes I know I'm using something that is copyrighted. Sometimes it's a sound effect that is copyrighted. But there's like it's super easy to just like make the sounds 80% slower, so it creates some kind of distortion in the voice. The way YouTube works is like it's they recognize the sound wave. Like they have a
Yeah.
huge bit of like all the copyrighted stuff. And if a sound wave fit one of their sound wave, they're gonna say, "Oh, that's copyrighted content." But
Yeah.
if you tweak the audio a bit, that's where you can be saved. But yeah, I try to. If I use jungle music or old 90s music, what I'm gonna do is look for record label that are not active anymore and that have not sold their license. So this way, you're sure that they don't pay actively to have the copyright certain songs. At this point, is it a steal of intellectual property from me? I don't think so. I think it's me digging up some old music that not a lot of people listen still, and yeah, that. And also, I most of the time I will use most of the time I will use Montrealers or Montreal musicians, sorry. And what I do is I just basically send them a message of like, hey, I do videos. Are you down if I use your music? And like most of the time, what I would say is like, hey, can I buy the song on Bandcamp and stuff? So most of the time I pay for the music, but like it's not a big it's not a big amount, and I think it's just a minimum to feel better about myself and not feeling.
I always ask myself, because I think once you get into copyright and stuff and like copyright strikes for videos, you're like, then, okay, how do I get music? Where do I get music? How do I get music that I actually like? And for me, it's no big deal because the way YouTube works right now, for everyone who's listening, because I think you know that, is you can use copyrighted music. You just can't make money from it, like Ben said earlier. So for my edits, I usually just use music I would listen to anyway. And then YouTube creates like a thing in your description with the songs that are being played.
Yeah.
Then you're basically good to go. So that's how I do it for my videos, but they wouldn't be able to get monetized that way.
Yeah, actually, I never had a copyright strike. My channel is clean. It cannot be cleaner than that. Actually, talking about clean, my YouTube channel used to be called Fingered Benh, like on my Instagram, and I changed it to during the adpocalypse and like the big YouTube controversy, like the algorithm getting all over the place and stuff, like targeting certain words and unmonetizing, not even because it's actually bad content or suggestive content, but only because it has a certain word. So to be safe, I just changed Fingered to Fingered Benh, and yeah.
Don't think I even recognized that you did switch that.
Yeah,
in my head, you still Fingered Benh.
Yeah, but that's that's the way I want people to call me. Oh yeah, fun fact for the people listening. The origin of Fingered Benh.
I was about to ask that story.
Yeah, actually, it's a play on words from a French word. Because in French we have a term that means finger dexterity, and it's doigté, le doigté. It's your finger dexterity basically. So if you have a good doigté, you have good fingerboard, good finger dexterity, basically. So there's no direct translation to doigté. And also doigté not only means finger dexterity, but it also means to finger something. It's a homophone. So basically, I mixed all those infos together, and yeah, now you have Fingered Benh, which sounds super wrong, but it's actually just means I'm good with my fingers.
It's quite funny, yeah.
Yeah, bilingual humor.
Yeah, I mean, my Instagram name is also a German play on words.
Yeah,
I get that. Yeah, so one thing I always ask myself when I see your videos, how much work does go into those videos? Because since you post that regular, I'm always like, I take ages for a video like that.
It depends. Like a part can take me 3 to 10 hours of filming, depending on how big the part is. If there's outdoor, if there's stuff like that. You can see basically with the amount of shirt I have in a part.
Mm.
If I have like more than 3 shirt, you can be sure that it took me like more than 6 hours at least. Because I tend to film in like batch of like 1 hour and a half to 2 hours and a half.
Mm.
Because if I like to do prolonged sesh, but after a certain time, my brains goes mush, and I just cannot bear fingerboarding. Like I need to distract myself and go back to it.
Mm.
And yeah, so 5 to 10 hours to film a part, and to edit it takes me maybe 3 to 6 hours. So it's about it varies at about 8 to 20 hours per videos. One thing that is interesting is the Games of Skate takes me 30 minutes to film, but takes me about 8 hours to edit. I personally think the Games of Skate is the videos that ask me the more work, and they're not the videos that brings me the more views. So since I'm a sellout, well,
You don't do them that much.
yeah, I don't do them that much, and but everything that is outdoor. Also, that's another thing that's interesting is in an afternoon most of the time. So I start at like 1 hour and I come back for dinner time most of the time.
I see you do outdoor stuff quite a lot. I would say you're one of the most regular outdoor video
Yeah,
uploader, whatever you might call
yeah,
it.
that's a good term if we can say.
And do you have a map of spots, or do you go out fresh every time, or do
Well,
you
no,
remember I did that one last video, so I won't use that one for a while, or?
yeah, that's basically it. Before I go out, I make myself a path of like, oh, where I'm gonna walk and how many spots I can hit. And now, since I basically done all the spots in my city like twice at least, um, what I try to do is I try to go at other cities. So I use my Patreon money, wink wink, plug, and I basically go in public transport and find a place. Or most of the time it's going to Montreal, basically, which is like the big city near my suburb. So yeah, Montreal is just crazy. That's also a thing that is interesting. Is like you start finding logics behind finding spots. What I mean by that is you need to look for buildings that has a great economic value. What I mean by that is either buildings that are owned by huge corporations or governmental buildings and churches and all other buildings that are public places and that are funded by the money from everyone, the taxes, yes. So by this point, you know that there's a lot of budget that goes into that building. And big budget means big budget on the outdoor, on sculpture, on art, and stuff like that. So if you want to look for a unique spot, check your libraries, check your church, checks whenever there's a park with a fountain in it, you know that there's a huge budget that went into that park. And all those kinds of stuff, you start realizing when you look out for spots that, yeah, that's the logic behind finding spot. The more money is put into a building, the more spot it will have.
That's a really interesting approach because a thing that I don't like about outdoor fingerboarding that much is like you walk around for hours and you find like two spots or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that's because you are in a poor city, basically.
I really like outdoor fingerboarding when I'm with someone who knows spots. Like, I don't mind being like, hey, let's go to that spot I've seen you film at, or that one, or those other three. But just going out randomly hasn't worked for me that well. But maybe I just looked at it wrong and need
One,
to.
one thing that I do all the time is go on Google Map, go on Street View, write down any city, and like challenge myself into, Richmond, Virginia, in the U.S. Never went there, but I'm sure I can find some spot. And sometimes sometimes even like cities that I know a certain fingerboarder is from and that I know did a outdoor edit in that city. One of my fun is try to refine spots that I saw in
Oh,
video.
nice.
So yeah, I became really really good at at finding the neighbor I need to go to find a certain spot.
That's crazy. I think that doesn't work as well in Germany since we have weird laws regarding Google. Like all images on Google Maps are basically 7 years plus old,
Mm,
and they probably won't ever make new images.
okay, Google is
Because
banning.
no, but there's been like hundreds of lawsuits when they did the photos the first time.
Wow.
Yeah, from people wanting their faces blurred and their houses and like people who had their cars in front and like it was a huge nightmare and Google paid a lot of money and law fees and everything like that. So in the street that I live in, there are whole buildings missing on Google Maps, and that's
Wow.
pretty much everywhere in Germany. You get a feeling of the area, but it could be that there's like one building on Google Maps and a whole area with like 20
Damn.
houses in real life.
That's funny whenever it happens on Google Maps is like you get the satellite view and like you can see all
Yeah,
the buildings and then you go on Street View and then all of a sudden what?
yeah,
It vanished.
exactly. And that probably happens quite a lot in Germany in general. And yeah. But the thing I always look for when I do search for spots is lists of memorials in the town or a list of nice fountains. Because especially in bigger cities, you get like guides for like parents and stuff with like nice parks. And I look for the part where it says, is there a fountain or a memorial or anything of that nature?
Any city that has marble, like New York has some. I know New York is really fan of those too. Uh,
Mm.
like and Japan, like there's a lot of stuff like that. If a city has marble, I think it's the kind of city that you can just go out without any plan and
Yeah.
just wander in the street. You always end up finding something.
I actually was trying to film an outdoor part, but like I went out once and yeah.
You lose motivation after only finding two spots in like 2 hours.
I mean, I was still motivated to go, but I never did. I wanted to do it in June, also like a couple of weeks ago. And for some reason, it was like, oh no, okay, not this weekend. Yeah, maybe next one. Then it rained, and yeah. Or when I wanted to go out, I couldn't find anyone to go with me. So that's something I wanted to ask you. You probably get weird looks or weird conversations all the time when doing out the fingerboarding, right?
Yeah, of course. Like people stopping by, like people filming me.
Mm.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happened like that. The thing I think, how can I say? I'm someone super like it doesn't seem like, but I consider myself someone pretty shy. I'm not introvert. Like I'm
Mm.
extro. I'm shy, so I don't take a lot of place unless people ask me to. Um,
Mm.
so whenever I fingerboard, like actually the first time I fingerboarded, I couldn't do it alone. Like I needed to be with people. If I was with people, I had like, oh, It's okay. We're in a gang. Once you start doing it over and over again, you start realizing that like, hey, people are not always available when you are. So what you end up doing is like, hey, I want to film outdoor, but there's nobody. So I just took my courage, if we can say so, and started doing fingerboard. Like the first fingerboard adventure I did was alone, if I remember. And like most of the first fingerboard adventure were alone, and that's where I really started to learn how to bear with the attention, because my mentality is like, yes, people are laughing at me. Yes, they're kind of laughing at me, but the reality is I'm getting footage and awesome footage, and like it's super entertaining. Like, and the thing that people talk to me the most all the time is my outdoor clips. So my mentality became like, I'm doing my job, that it's job, but like to be out and get footage. I don't do it for me. It's not about myself. It's about getting the footage. So once I started having that mentality, I just don't care about people. I care about people. I don't care about whatever people thinks. I know I'm Ben, the guy who does fingerboarding, and that's what I'm meant to be doing. So I don't care. I just don't care.
You should less give a fuck, I think.
Yeah, but it's hard. Like, you feel the judgment. But at the end of the day, the only thing you're going to be is like an anecdote of someone, of things that's going on in my life. Like, oh, you won't believe what I saw earlier today when I was walking. I saw, you remember when we were kids, we were riding those miniature skateboards? Well, there were people doing it outside, and there were like grown-ass people with big birds. That's as far as it's going to be. And 5 minutes later, it's going, what are we eating for dinner? You don't need to focus on what people think about you.
Yeah, I should really try to get a few more clips outside.
Yeah, well, just at the same time, if you're not having fun doing it, don't push yourself too hard. Like, what matters in fingerboarding is having fun.
Yeah.
Mainly.
That's the most important one, at least.
Well, that's basically the definition of a hobby.
Yeah. I wanted to hit you with a couple of quick questions. Let's do like a quick rapid fire.
All right.
So let's start with what's your favorite wheels?
Favorite wheels, flat face.
Which one?
A material, turquoise, any shape. The regular ones preferably, but any shapes works for me. I just love the turquoise color, and the A material
love them as well.
Slightly softer than the white, but without being like really soft. Like, let's say Brendan Roberts are a bit softer, or G60s, or you had purple Yetis back then that was super soft too. But yeah, that's
favorite deck and shape.
Favorite deck and shape. It's Camel Pro melee shape. I got 3 of them right there.
Nice.
It's just my favorite. It's a slightly shorter wheelbase than usual, but not short like shorter board. It's like just enough, and it's just the perfect combo into having a mellow concave and medium to high kicks, let's say. So that's what I guess the most control out of. And if you bought my pro model, shameless plug again, sorry, they come in 95 millimeters with kind of a tribute to when I used to ride the shorter boards.
Yeah, you did ride really short boards.
Yeah, really short boards.
Yeah.
But so yeah, metal shade Camel Pro fingerboard. That's my answer.
But let's keep this rapid fire question rapid. So,
Yeah.
favorite trick?
Favorite trick, switch shield.
Should have known that one. Favorite trick on obstacle?
Nollie heel, front side tail.
Favorite music song right now?
My favorite song at the moment is probably. Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. There's so many songs battling each other. I would say Combustion by Meshuggah. Let's go.
That's a good one. Outdoor or indoor fingerboarding?
Outdoor for footage and indoor because it costs a lot less.
Favorite obstacle?
Favorite obstacle? Any ledge, manual pad. Manual, like something that is big enough to be like a manual pad and a ledge at the same time.
What do you do for a living or want to do for a living? Besides earning YouTube money full time.
I'm actually a student at the moment, and I'm aiming for a multimedia course, which it's basically film making and stuff. Actually, I'm originally a dropout. Like I dropped out of high school because of personal issues, and I went back into it around when I was 20, and it took me a bit of time to get back into studies. So, and now I'm basically doing a multimedia course, which got stopped because of
shit happened.
Yeah, shit happens. I don't really have a job. My dad is a janitor in my block. Like I live in a huge block, and my dad is the janitor. So whenever there's hard work to do that he doesn't want, like to hurt himself or stuff, he's making me do it, basically.
So basically slave labor.
Yeah, exactly. Basically.
Concrete or wood?
Concrete.
Switch or regular? I think I know that one as well. Hobbies outside fingerboarding?
Music, making music, and other than that, I would say that's pretty much it. Watching YouTube. Is that a hobby?
At least doing YouTube stuff is a hobby, I'd say.
Yeah.
Flat ground with an obstacle or a park?
Flat ground obstacle.
Heel flip or kick flip?
Heel flip.
Big surprise. Favorite fingerboarder?
Favorite fingerboarder? Gary Chen, because he taught me everything that I know.
Nice. Favorite food right now?
General Tao chicken. Spicy, sweet chicken.
Yeah. Loose or tight trucks?
Medium. Actually, a tight medium for outdoor and medium loose for indoor.
Last trick you learned?
It will be switch front foot impossible, late heel flip.
That is a tough one.
Yeah, but it's May's fingerboard that does them, and the way it works is loop it around the finger, and then once you're there, you just push it back right there, and it's a fairly easy trick. A fairly easy late trick when you know a switch front side.
I should give that a try. Most hated trick?
Most hated trick? Unpossibles. You know the impossibles that turns the other way around? Like either it's a front foot impossible or like backside impossible.
Front foot impossible with the back finger? Or...
Yeah. Bubble Flip is doing those. Like he like that, but it does this.
I actually can do the front finger one.
It's so weird.
Maybe. Yeah, I should give that a try. A favorite drink?
Favorite drink would be Sorry, I have so many choices. I would say Dr. Pepper.
Your fingerboard sponsors.
Fingerboard sponsor are Camel Pro and that is active, and I have Finger Skate Ramp that is basically the people doing those ramps here. But they're not really active anymore. But I still consider myself part of the team because they're dear friends of mine, and I'm also gonna probably have a wheel sponsor soon, but I'm not saying anything.
Nice. 32 or 34 millimeter?
33.
Same for me. Dream sponsors.
Dream sponsors. I'm pretty affirmative that I'm already have my dream sponsor, as like my
Nice.
dreams was always to have a sponsor that I ask him stuff and he just give it to me.
Mhm.
Like basically how like except like this distribution stuff, I get huge discounts and stuff. But yeah, with Camel Pro, I'm basically treated like if I want a deck, I will receive a deck, and it's as simple as that. Like the company is providing me tools for me to create videos that are promoting his brand. It's a relationship, you know.
Yeah.
So I like my answer would be any company that does that, but I already found it, so
Yeah.
I'm just happy about it. But to be real, who wouldn't want a Black River Ram sponsorship?
I know a few. Yeah. Favorite Instagram follow? Like, what account do you enjoy the most? Follow?
That follows me?
No. What account? Which are you following? Is your favorite?
Okay, my favorite Instagrammer, basically.
Yeah.
I'm always really happy when cute CTRL is uploading. Like oh my god, sorry. I think they pronounce, but yeah, cute CRL. They're super sick. Like the way they create tricks and. I don't know. It's just mesmerizing. He's having so much fun with such crappy stuff, and I love it. They also pretty good at art.
Yeah, I wasn't following them yet, so I corrected that. Yeah, the last question would be a favorite overall company, but I imagine that being Camel Pro or.
Yeah, Camel Pro is pretty much my favorite company, but I would say that my other favorite company is the Azzy Berlin company, if we can call it a company.
Yeah,
Just
I think we can.
the sake that they're doing super amazing concrete obstacle, but not only that, the way they bring the scene together, the way they create events, and just like Timo as a person. Like the way he does it, like it's pure intentions.
Yeah, it's 100% authentic, and
he's almost sacrificing himself for the scene. And
he actually is getting the shop on his own. Like after Black River pulled out, like that was a huge risk and a huge undertaking for him, and it meant a few sacrifices on his part, and it's still not like he makes tons of money with that. It's like his goal is to keep it afloat and have something for the community, and we're all absolutely grateful for that.
Yeah, that's why I'm like I had to say Azzy Berlin. It's just amazing. Also, like another company that I'm a really fan of is 5Luck, just because Bert decided to isolate himself in the woods and basically like become autosufficient, and he basically lives off the money he makes with his fingerboards, and it's something crazy to me.
There's been a few stocks, like there's been one stock where he did the complete stock without any power, like he did one all by hand. And Yeah, and if like every time I see uh, people on Instagram posting that they're making decks and see them with like a disk sender and yeah, like all the hardware, I'm like, that's cool, but like if Bird would have those things, like he would spend every waking minute doing that, but still, like you don't need that. Like he's still, like in my opinion, some of the best decks that he's
Yeah,
doing, and
agree. I had a 5 Lux Tech 5 for a little while. I wrote that, and it's one of the favorite deck I've wrote.
recently switched to the Tech 5 Street
Hmm.
and gotten into shorter wheelbases and shorter decks. Yeah, it's my current favorite. Um, yeah, you recently got a pro model with Camel Pro.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, and it actually looks like you. Like, like I really enjoyed the whole series, and yeah, I think it's one of the, or it's probably my favorite set of graphics from Camel Pro so far.
Yeah,
And because in the past I was like, yeah, the boards are cool, but the graphics weren't like my cup of tea.
yeah.
But those graphics are really cool style and like
The thing though is
it's
that
something unique.
Philip, the owner of Camel Pro,
Yeah.
if I talk for him, he's someone who's all about feelings, all about like, oh, you're my friend, let's make shit together because you're my
Mhm.
friend. So his mentality at the beginning was to go seek for his friends that do art, you know.
Mhm.
But his friends artists, like, let's be real, when you do art you want money and stuff. So when Philip started his company, he really needed to find the people who were willing to do the
Mhm.
art. So he only had the, I think, 2 to 4 graphics at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah, I think I remember most of them.
And he kind of really wanted to work with the same artist, like to create some kind of like relationship, but it ended up like not working. So recently, Keith, one of our team writer, he basically put him in contact with someone that is an Photoshop artist, and yeah, he basically started doing the graphics for Phil. And now recently we had other graphics that came out, and like also Philip he used a certain like fold, like, how can I say, holographic folding thing that looks like aluminium almost,
Mhm.
and he can layer that with graphics, so he can create new graphics from the graphics he already has. And
Oh,
it's
cool.
they're really getting Philip is really working hard on graphics, and like it shows with the pro model series
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Do you have a set of the whole series like just for collecting, or do you just have your
This is the deck that you saw in my unboxing video that I've
Mhm.
been using. But yeah, Philip at the moment he just moved out in a new home, so he's not really working on it. But he's definitely said that he's going to make us a frame with
Yeah.
all the boards, so we can have the series.
Yeah, because it seems like a series you would want to have as a
Yeah, and also like
all
to
framed up.
get signed by everybody. That would be
Yeah,
another thing.
yeah, that would be cool. Um, do you have met most of the other Camel Pro riders in person, or?
Yeah, I've met them all. Like I've met them all, and they're all my friends. Like we talk to each other regularly, and we are all there for each other. We were literally stranger, but Camel Pro brought us together, and now we're all brothers basically.
Yeah, similar with Five Luck for me. Like I'm living on a different continent than all of them, and
Yeah,
still,
but always like seeking out for each other, and
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Are you generally someone who collects decks or old decks, or do you just like shred them to pieces and?
One fun thing about me, I think I maybe in my life, I think I spent less than $500 in fingerboarding. Like most of the stuff I get is either from contests or from sponsors. So I never was really about spending money into fingerboarding, even though I
Mm.
sometimes had opportunities that were just too stupid not to spend money on.
Mm.
But other than that, I just started spending money into it because basically now I have everything like most stuff at a discount when I because of Camel Pro.
Mm.
So when you get 25 close to 25% discount on everything, you're just like, okay, but if I don't buy it, I'm not gonna have a 25% discount. So I'm losing money, and I need to buy it.
Yeah, I used to work at a book publisher a few years back, and was a big fan of like they do graphic design books,
Mhm.
and I was a big fan and had like a huge collection before I joined there. And while I was there, I paid I think 40% on a book or something like that. And yeah, during the time I was there, I bought like 10 more books. And then at my last day, my boss told me, yeah, let's go to storage and take as much as you can carry. And I literally walked out like that with books stacked up to my chin and like.
Because I got a new full bookcase. That's
Yeah.
basically it.
Yeah, so I totally get the thing of spending money when you have the opportunity to get some discounts and stuff like that.
Yeah, and basically like my collection that I have today is like just a accumulation of like the past 10 years of just being an active fingerboarder in the community.
Nice. My collection is. I definitely spent more than $500 on my collection, but yeah, I'm fine with that.
Here, like in the hobby.
Yeah, I think I paid probably one rent for the Hazy Berlin shop.
Wow.
Like when you put it all together, and yeah. But that's the thing with hobbies. Like when you don't have enough money, you have all the time for that hobby, and once you earn enough money, you don't have as much time anymore for that hobby. I try to spend most weekends when I don't have anything to do, I just go to the shop, and most of the time I buy something or yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm not a good example. Like people should actually buy stuff. Like it's not only fun to receive new stuff, but it's actually helping the scene.
Yeah,
Like,
it
I
is.
think my videos are a way for me to escape from like I actually care about the community because I do, but like I
Yeah.
compensate my lack of of money investment and the fingerboard
Yeah, but
scene. With,
you support it in a different way. And
yeah,
do you know, like, I don't know if you know that much about your YouTube audience, but do you know if you have a lot of subscribers who don't follow any other fingerboard channels? Like, is that something that you know from your analytics and stuff?
no, I cannot know that. I know where they're from, and I know like the percentage. I can know the percentage basically. Like I know like I have a pretty like I can see if it's the US that is watching me the most, or Canada, or the Europe, like Germany or France and stuff like that.
Mm.
I also have a pretty good following in South America, so like Argentina, Brazil,
Ah,
and stuff like that. There's a lot of people watching me because if you think about it and you start looking for Brazilian fingerboarders, there are Brazilian fingerboarders, but there's not a lot of Brazilian content. Most of it is in Portuguese. So like like only the Brazilian people watch the the Brazilian videos, so it doesn't like open the scene international, you know. So
when I met Mauro from Argentina,
Mhm.
he also said that like the scene there is quite small or quite spread out, and like I didn't know anything about Argentine or basically South American scene because I know like a couple of brands, but I maybe know like 4 brands when I count them that are from South America, and I probably know, I don't know how many brands from Germany I know, but more than 4.
well, in Argentina at the moment you have Joaquim Mendez, which is French me, French you. He's a French fingerboarder, but he moved out in Argentina, and now he's working with Dirty Monkeys FB, which is
Yeah.
an upcoming fingerboard company. They're doing lives with like every week, and it's amazing. To be real, I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of Dirty Monkey's fingerboard because he's really treating his when he does live, he does interviews with like Argentinian writers, and he has a lot of charisma. And even me, if I don't know anything about Spanish, I can kind of understand what you're talking about, but I don't understand most of it. Just by the charisma he has and the way he interacts with his audience and the way he brings everybody together, it's so fun to watch.
I definitely seen some of the live streams that he does.
My point was basically with Joaquim being there, it's fun because he's a Black River sponsored writer, and like I think you have Lucas Belaguarda, which is in Brazil. You had Las Paz also, which was there, and they're all writers that have been featured on the Black River channel. So there's a Brazilian scene, there's Brazilian writers, but they're just
they don't have that much exposure.
Exactly.
When it comes to language, I know that for you it's been you were unsure about speaking in English in your videos in the past.
Well, I would say I started doing videos in French because, of course, the Facebook group where I started doing videos was mainly French. And when I started doing videos like with my camera and stuff on YouTube, I started realizing that hey, there's English people that are watching me. I was also now on Instagram since then, so I started uploading clips and realized that most of my interaction were in English. So since most of my audience became English, like more English speaker than French people, I started speaking in English. But at the beginning of my YouTube adventure, if we can call it that way, I would purposely speak like that. And the reason why I would speak like that is the fact that I'm basically speaking with my French accent, really pronounced, and I'm kind of pronouncing the word as if I would be pronouncing them in French. But like at the end, it became like a persona, a clown persona. And my English got better also because it was an excuse for me to suck at English. and more and more I started interacting with my camera in English. The more I got comfortable doing it also, but I still kind of use my French accent to pronounce words sometimes when I'm not sure. So yeah, it kind of weared off with time, but yeah.
Is it still weird to sometimes talk to a camera?
Oh yes, I have I would say I have a problem with my self-esteem. So whenever I watch myself, to be completely honest, there's been since I've done Ben's time, there's been at least 2 times I've tried to film one, or film, let's say, a trick tip or stuff where I'm speaking to my camera, and like halfway through the video, I just cancel everything because I cannot bear like doing what I'm doing. I feel ridiculous and I need to talk myself back into it. But other than this, yeah, it's still hard to do. But I need to get shit done. So if
Yeah.
it's either like for outro or intro for a video, I just know that I need to say certain things to make the video better, and that's give me like, as long as I focus on the work and not the emotions, that's pretty much it.
When I edit the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
it used to be really tough for me to edit it because like hearing your own voice and it's so weird at the beginning. And
Yeah.
a few days ago, I realized that it's become like super normal for me. I think I was doing something for work where I had to record something where I showed how something is done. Like it didn't bother me at all. And that's something where I was like, huh, I remember like a couple months ago, I was like actively trying when editing to just jump to the pauses and stuff and just edit them out and leave the rest as is. And yeah.
Yeah, that's basically when you get nervous in class from doing like oral tests and stuff like that, and you get nervous before going in front of everybody.
Mhm.
But more and more you do it, or if let's say you get a job in a museum and you start like being the guide and like always
Mhm.
oral presentation, basically, the more you do it, the more you become good, and
Yeah.
the more normal it feels, basically.
Another thing I wanted to ask you, when did your fascination with nollie heels come about? Because I would say it's your signature trick, or
Yeah,
yeah.
nollie heel. It's mainly the tricks I've practiced the most. Um, how can I say? When I started fingerboarding, I couldn't switch heel at all, and I couldn't for like
Obviously.
4 or 5 years into fingerboarding. And one day, I just was pissed about it, and I've looked up a Chris Daniel tutorial, and I remember like not even believing I was going to land it that way, but the way he explained it, how he does is just made much more sense to me. And like after trying it, like most of the sesh, I ended up landing my first one. And then once you land your first one, I would say if you guys are looking for switch heel trick tips, it's all about practicing it. It's stupid, but whenever you do sesh, you gotta start your sesh with a switch heel. Midway through, you do another switch heel, and at the end of the sesh, you do a switch heel. And after a year of like seshing, let's say two times a week minimum, you're gonna be consistent at switch heel.
A friend of mine used to say that he really sucked at kickflips,
Mhm.
and he always said that he can't ride switch or nollie. And he works as a photographer. And when he presses the button, it like takes a while for the system and everything.
Yep.
And between that, he started doing 4 kickflips in a row, like kickflip, fakie flip, nollie flip, switch flip.
Mhm.
And then when I saw him like a couple months later, he was doing kickflips into grinds and everything. And I was like, what the fuck happened? And
Yeah.
when you notice that you struggle with a particular trick, try to get into a routine where you do that trick constantly.
Yeah, reward yourself also. I found out that when I learned tricks that I struggled with, I would like have a bag of candies or anything, and whenever I would land one, I would allow myself to take a candy. So my mind would like
You conditioned yourself.
yeah, I'm basically yeah, like training a dog, but
Yeah.
instead of training the dog, you train your mind into landing the goddamn
Mhm.
trick.
For me, the video that helped me was, I think it was the video by the owner from Subliminal.
Owen,
Yeah, I think he did a video on nollie heels. I think it was that one where it clicked for me.
that's
Yeah.
sick. Yeah, we all has that's like I used to think trick tips like if someone did a trick tip like that was the only trick tip that was needed, like everybody doing the trick tip for the same trick was just repeating. But I
Mhm.
realized that like a lot of people has different way of flipping tricks, like
Or explaining a trick.
Yeah, or explaining it also, or even like the way the video is edited. Sometimes people are just gonna take a one take and speak all over the place, and you get
Mm.
confused at the end. But sometimes it's just when it's straight to the point. What I like, it's the approach I like is when people teach you how to practice the trick. You know, like
Mm.
not only do this, do that, but like start with the switch ollie, and then once you
Yeah.
get the switch down, go to that other trick, and then go to that other trick. Once everything is mastered, you can start trying
Yeah.
that. It's gonna make a lot more sense.
Yeah, I think the breaking down of a trick is much more important than showing this is how it looks.
Yeah, do this.
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't
Yeah.
say me anything.
But I mean, there's some tricks that some people struggle with and other people have an easy time with. Like, I have a good friend like Chris Henneman, the one who does Hartz IV.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really, really good at switch 360 pop shovets, and I'm really good at 360 pop shovets. But we still get letters from each other with those tricks every time, because I can't land the switch 360 pop shovet for the life of me, and he can land 360 pop shovets once in a while, but yeah, they're not gonna be pretty. And like we tried teaching each other those tricks like a million times, like how do you do that? Yeah, basically how you do it. Just switch.
To me, it's any like my buddy Phil from Camel Pro.
Yeah.
Like whenever we play games of skate, we always plays for fun. But if I start doing like dirty tricks, like he starts doing pressure flips, and he knows that he has.
I can't do pressure flips for the life of me.
I don't like it. I don't
Yeah.
understand. I think it looks stupid. I used to do pressure tricks, and people would call out me like, "Oh, that's not hard flip. That's pressure hard flip." And like I wiped off pressure off my mind.
But I mean, you do quite a lot of like weird tricks in your videos, and that's part
Yeah.
of the reason why I like them. Because
Well,
Yeah.
weird tricks. If we consider like switch varial eel, my switch varial eel are weird because I dolphin them and they look like this
Yeah.
instead of looking like a proper varial eel.
Yeah, sometimes do that with regular varial heels, especially into grinds or slides.
Yeah, it just goes so well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I more meant like you had so many like really weird combinations or really weird. Like there's been one a while back where you did like a impossible wall tap, impossible wall ride or something like that.
Yeah, I know what tricks you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
on that kicker, I think.
Yeah.
Within a triangle. Yeah, this was a switch front foot impossible, Denny Politan foot plant, and then like I made
exactly that one.
the board roll while I was foot planting, and then
Yeah.
I really,
How long did that take, like roughly, or tricks of that kind?
they're mainly fucking like I'm mainly just having fun and fucking around. So
So you
how can
just landed and
yeah, it just happens. But this particular tricks took like the way I film a version of a trick, and then I film another version, and like let's say I do nollie hard flip crook, nollie flip 5-0. I'm gonna learn one where I'm more crooked, and I'm gonna learn one more in nose grind. And after I decide, and what I'm gonna do is like refilm the tricks until I get it clean, like I want it to be. So sometimes in my edit, I'm gonna put like a sequence of like 5 times the same trick, and then you have the same trick again, but actually properly land, just to show like, hey, it matters. Refilm your stuff, and also to make my video a bit longer.
Yeah, that's also another thing. Every time I edit a full part or a part that I'm doing, I realize how long 2.5 minutes or something like that can be. And I'm always amazed that you post that consistently, because I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do with like the last 16 seconds?
Yeah, Well, since I'm a fan of YouTube in general and YouTubers, like the last 20 seconds for me are always used for an outro. And
Yeah.
like great with outros is that it's create traffics into your other videos.
Yeah.
Because some people are just there and they have nothing to do. They're on their cell phone. They're like, I just finished a video, but like, oh, there's another one. Tap.
Yeah.
It's as simple as
Yeah, more meant like when I know, okay, there's like somewhere in the middle is like 17 seconds missing or anything like that.
okay, like your B-roll or
Yeah.
or you're gonna
Or you're like, okay, I do need to film another trick, or yeah.
Okay, yeah, I get what you mean. I would say that I always film too many tricks and end up like not putting all the tricks in the edit because I sometimes the edit is either a bit too sketchy for my liking or stuff. But yeah, I would say that like being consistent. That's why being consistent is super like useful and
Yeah.
important. It's because you can basically end up just adding an idea and in less than 3 minutes you're pretty much done with the idea and you can have another idea and just like have fun with it. I'm listening to podcasts at the same time, so that's another thing to me. Like when I fingerboard, I need to be distracted. If I'm only fingerboarding, I'm not gonna learn the tricks as easily.
Oh, okay. I rarely fingerboard with music or anything like that. Like sometimes, but yeah, not always.
I don't know. I have a huge attention deficit disorder. People watching are definitely they already know just because of how all over the place my answers are since the beginning. But yeah, so I guess like when I have two things to focus at the same time, that's where I perform the most.
I get that, and I'm like that as well. Like when I work, I always have a podcast or a YouTube video rolling at the same time. Like I mainly only put YouTube videos on where I don't have to watch, like things like the Nine Club podcast is something I listen to quite a lot, or Dungeons and Dragons streams, or like things like that that are mostly audio only. Those are the things I watch all the time while doing something else. Like even when I'm playing Counter-Strike or anything like that, and I have a YouTube video on my other monitor, I have it like playing during playing the game and talking to someone via TeamSpeak, and
Definitely get what you mean. Yeah, that's what I like to do too. Just when I only focus on the fingerboarding, I start overthinking stuff and I start just creating distortion in my thoughts. Need to enjoy the moment and stuff. That's where the best stuff come out. Like
okay, I think we've been going on for quite a while now. Much longer than I originally thought. Yeah, so let's wrap this up here. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this.
Problem. I'm talking about myself.
I hope it was interesting for everyone. I definitely had a blast. Thank you for listening. See you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.